Well, good morning, kids. Pastor Al here. Thanks for joining me this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about a story in the Bible, a time when Jesus actually walked on water. It was very unusual and had a huge impact on the people that saw him. But we're going to start by talking about dogs. Because if you ever had a dog, you know that dogs a lot of times really love water. I've had Labradors that just thought water was the best thing in the world and they couldn't stand to not be in water almost. I found that the corgis I've had are not exactly great around water. They like water, but they're not really designed for water. Let me show you a corgi who I think is pretty typical of what it comes to when you've got a corgi trying to figure out what to do with water.
Ready? Go get it. Go.
Go.
Go get it.
Go.
Go get it.
Go, Cooper.
Come on. Go get it. Come on. Let's go.
You're right, his leg goes sideways to the left.
Go get it.
And it's not a particularly efficient jump. It doesn't actually make it that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just
It's a
like to
lot.
get him off. Why doesn't their brain stop? Are you swimming, Cooper? Are you swimming? Come on, Dad. Ready?
Funny, but not really impressive, is it? But you know, some dogs handle water really well. In fact, I want you to take a close look at this dog and see what he does when he's at a party with a bunch of humans and he decides he wants to get over to the other side of the pool really fast. Okay, so he's not walking on water. There's a net on the pool to keep people, or particularly kids, from falling in and drowning. And he's just running across that net. But it is pretty cool looking, isn't it? And the dog must have felt pretty cool. So some of us, like dogs, are not really meant to float on the water. But some of us have a special ability. Well, not some of us, only one of us. And that was Jesus. A long time ago, Jesus' disciples were out on a boat and they were running across the Lake of Galilee. And there was a night and there was a huge storm and a lot of wind and they were having a hard time. But Jesus had stayed back on the shore to pray. And when he was done, he decided he would come out and join them. And, well, he just literally walked on the water. Now, I accept that Jesus can do that. It's not something he did. I mean, Jesus did a lot of miracles, but he didn't do a lot of miracles that just were sort of like this. But hey, you know, he's the guy who made water molecules, controlled the wind and the rain. If he can control all those things and he wanted to walk on water, then he did. And I think the main reason he did it was he really wanted his disciples to know exactly who he was, that he had all the powers of God, even though he was just, to them, a mortal man. And then in the story, an interesting thing happens. Peter sees him, and Peter's one of the disciples and the apostles, and he looks out and says, Jesus, if it's really you, tell me to come to you. I would have thought Jesus would have said, are you nuts? But no, he said, okay, come on out. Peter gets out, and he actually kind of stands on the water for a while, and then he gets worried, and he sinks. But before he goes all the way down, Jesus reaches out, grabs his hand, pulls him up, and takes him back into the boat. kind of scolds him. He says, "You have little faith." But he really had a lot of faith even to try. And that's just the one thing I want to leave with you today. You know, basically, we're not Jesus. We can't walk on water. We're a lot more like the corgis. We kind of flop ourselves down and do the best we can. But what I think is amazing about the story is that Peter tried. He didn't succeed. In the end, he discovered that he needed Jesus' help. But he tried. And when he was failing, Jesus put his hand out and helped him. And that's a little bit of a lesson for our life, too. Don't automatically assume you can't do something that's important, something that's good. Give it a try. Maybe you'll fail. Okay, at least you tried. Maybe you'll get started and sink, and Jesus' hand is going to reach out and grab you and pull you ashore. But have the courage to try. Understand if you still fail, you know, Jesus didn't fire Peter. He didn't dislike him anymore. In fact, I think in some respects he was a little bit impressed by the fact that he was even willing to try. So friends, maybe don't try walking on water, but try doing things for God that you might not think are entirely possible. And you might be surprised that God might just give you a little bit of help, and together the two of you might do some pretty cool things. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you this morning. Have a great day. Bye.